The planet that shouldn't exist. Think about this for a second. Somewhere in our galaxy, there's a planet, larger than Jupiter, and it doesn't orbit anything. No sun, no solar system, no source of heat or light, just darkness. When scientists first detected it, they genuinely didn't believe what they were seeing. Because according to everything we know about space, this thing should not exist. So where did it come from? What is it? And the question that keeps astronomers up at night, could something actually be alive out there? Today, we're going somewhere light has never reached. This is the planet that shouldn't exist. Discovery. It started as a completely routine night. The year was 2023. Astronomers were running a standard deep sky survey, pulling data from the James Webb Space Telescope and the European Southern Observatory, mapping stars, cataloging galaxies, the kind of work that fills hard drives and rarely makes headlines. But that night, something came up on the screen that didn't fit. Not near any star, not at the edge of any galaxy, just open sky, empty space. And right in the middle of nothing, a massive, dark, completely isolated object. The team's first assumption? Equipment glitch, background interference, a calibration error. So they ran the scan again. Then a third time. Every single time, same result. A planet, significantly larger than Jupiter, completely alone, outside any gravitational system, silently drifting through empty space. The scientific community gave it a name, rogue planet.
Okay,
or more precisely, a free-floating planetary mass object.
Yes,
Now, this wasn't technically the first rogue planet ever suspected. Scientists had theorized they existed for decades, but one this large, this clearly defined, this close to our observable range, that was new. And it immediately raised the question everyone was asking, how does something like this happen? Rogue planets explained. Okay, a quick bit of science. I promise it's more interesting than it sounds. When a solar system forms, it starts with a young star surrounded by a spinning disk of gas and dust. Over millions, sometimes billions, of years, gravity pulls that material together. Clumps form. Those clumps grow. Eventually you get planets. Clean process. Elegant even. Except sometimes it goes catastrophically wrong. A planet forms, but its orbit is unstable from the start. Maybe a larger neighboring planet's gravity keeps tugging at it. Maybe two planets drift dangerously close to each other. Maybe there's a fundamental imbalance in the early system. Whatever the cause, the result is the same. The planet gets thrown out. The star's gravity isn't strong enough to hold it. And so that planet, moving at millions of kilometers per hour, gets ejected from its solar system entirely. No tether, no anchor, no destination, just infinite space, and one planet, drifting forever. Here's the part that genuinely surprised the scientific community, though. Estimates suggest there could be billions of rogue planets in the Milky Way alone. Billions. That means the thing we assumed was a cosmic oddity is actually incredibly common. We just can't see them. Without a star to reflect light off, they're essentially invisible to standard telescopes. You need advanced infrared detection to even have a chance of spotting one, which makes what was found in 2023 even more remarkable. Because this particular rogue planet wasn't Earth-sized, wasn't Mars-sized. Those are the typical ones. This was approximately 12 times the mass of Jupiter. To put that in context, at that size, it's right on the boundary between very large planet and failed star, almost in brown dwarf territory. But it wasn't a brown dwarf. It was a planet that broke the rules, that defied the expected physics of formation. And that was completely, utterly alone. Scientists shocked. When the first peer-reviewed paper dropped, the reactions across the scientific community were fascinating. Some researchers were thrilled. Finally, direct observational evidence at this scale. Others were skeptical. This is a brown dwarf. We're miscategorizing it. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But a third group had a reaction I find far more interesting. They were genuinely unsettled. Because the existence of this object implied something disturbing. If a planet this massive got ejected, then the event that caused the ejection must have been enormous. We're talking about a catastrophic gravitational disruption, a near collision between giant planets, A nearby supernova, something so violent that it threw a Jupiter-scale world clear out of its solar system at escape velocity. And that solar system? It almost certainly doesn't exist anymore. This planet is a survivor, a remnant, a piece of wreckage from a cosmic catastrophe that happened billions of years ago, still drifting, still moving, with no idea its home is gone. Dr. Nuria Miret-Roig, who leads Rogue Planet research at the European Southern Observatory, noted that objects like these reveal planet formation to be far more violent and chaotic than our standard models suggest. Violent, chaotic. Strong words from someone whose job is to remain measured and scientific. And when you sit with the fact that there are potentially billions of these dark, massive, wandering worlds silently moving through our galaxy right now, you start to realize that space is significantly stranger than we give it credit for. Could life survive there? Now we get to the question I know you've been thinking about. Could anything actually live out there? Your first instinct is probably no. Obviously no. No star, no light, no energy source, no warmth. Life as we understand it needs sunlight. That's just biology 101. Except, and this is where things get genuinely mind-bending, that assumption is wrong. We know it's wrong because we've found the evidence right here on Earth. At the bottom of our own oceans, around hydrothermal vents, 2,500 meters below the surface, there are entire ecosystems thriving in complete, permanent darkness. Tube worms, blind crabs, chemosynthetic bacteria, complex food chains, all completely independent of sunlight. Their energy source isn't the sun, it's geothermal heat, the planet's own internal warmth from radioactive decay and residual formation energy. Now apply that to this rogue planet. A gas giant 12 times Jupiter's mass generates enormous internal heat. The pressure and temperature at its core approaches stellar conditions, and if that planet has moons, which a body that size almost certainly does, those moons would experience something called tidal heating. The gravitational pull between planet and moon generates friction. That friction generates heat. We've already seen this in our own solar system. Jupiter's moon Europa has a shell of ice several kilometers thick. But beneath that ice, kept liquid by tidal heating, is a vast, dark ocean. Scientists consider it one of the most likely candidates for extraterrestrial life anywhere in our solar system. NASA has an entire mission dedicated to it. Now imagine our rogue planet has a moon just like Europa. No sun overhead, pure darkness in every direction. But underneath the ice, geothermal heat, liquid water, chemical reactions, and time. Billions upon billions of years of time. Our own planet went from single-celled organisms to us in about 4 billion years. This rogue planet was likely ejected long before our solar system even formed. If it has moons, if those moons have liquid water, if that water has been sitting there, warm, dark, chemically active, then whatever experiment life is running there has had more time than we can properly imagine. And it may still be running right now, in the dark, in the silence, completely beyond the reach of any telescope we currently have. A dark, frozen world. I want you to picture this. You're standing on the surface of this planet, or one of its moons. Look up. No sun. The nearest stars are so distant and sparse that the sky above you is essentially completely black. Not night sky black, not cloudy night black, absolute void black. The temperature around you is somewhere below -200 degrees Celsius. The atmosphere, if there is one, is thick hydrogen and helium. The winds are moving at thousands of kilometers per hour. If there's a solid surface beneath you, it's frozen solid. Has been for billions of years. No color anywhere. No warmth. No sound except wind. A place where the laws of physics still work perfectly, but life never received an invitation. And then, you look down. Far below the surface, below kilometers of ice. There's something. A faint glow. Blue-green. Bioluminescence? Geothermal chemical reactions? Something we don't even have a category for yet? This is speculative. I want to be clear about that. But here's what isn't speculative. NASA has already confirmed that Europa, right here in our solar system, is actively venting water vapor plumes from beneath its ice surface. That means the interior is geologically active. Liquid water exists. Energy is being exchanged. If this rogue planet's moons share that same profile, and physically they could, then what looks dead from the outside might be anything but the loneliest place in the galaxy, and possibly the most surprising. The theory that keeps scientists up at night. And now, I want to tell you the part of this story that I genuinely find disturbing. Some astronomers, not fringe theorists but published, respected researchers, have raised a specific possibility. If there are billions of rogue planets drifting through our galaxy, then statistically, some of them must have passed through other solar systems, including potentially ours. Billions of years ago, maybe even millions of years ago, a rogue planet may have passed through, or near, our solar system. If it came close enough, the gravitational effects would have been significant. Planetary orbits could have shifted. The asteroid belt could have been disturbed, debris redirected inward, towards the inner planets, towards Earth. Some researchers have actually pointed to the late heavy bombardment, a period roughly 4 billion years ago when Earth was being struck by a massive, unusual wave of asteroid and comet impacts, as potentially consistent with an external gravitational disturbance. In other words, a rogue planet passing through the neighborhood. That's our history, our planet's early scars, possibly written by something that had no idea we existed and never looked back. But here's where the theory turns genuinely dark. It could happen again. Calculations suggest that over millions of years, the probability of a rogue planet passing close enough to disturb the outer edges of our solar system, the region known as the Oort cloud, is not negligible. If the Oort cloud gets disturbed, it sends comets inward, into the inner solar system, toward the planets, toward us. Not today, not in our lifetimes, not in the next 1,000 years, but on a cosmic timescale, a dark, massive, wandering world with no name, no star, no destination, is moving through space right now, and we would have almost no warning until it was already close. Is that terrifying? Or is it just humbling? That space is so vast, so full of things we haven't found yet, that a Jupiter-scale world can drift through the dark for billions of years and we don't even know it exists until one night, a routine scan catches a single dot in the wrong place. So let's bring it together. 1. Rogue planets are real. There are potentially billions of them drifting through the Milky Way right now, alone, dark, untethered from any star. 2. We can barely detect them. Even with James Webb and next-generation infrared telescopes, the vast majority are completely invisible to us. They don't emit light. They don't reflect light. They just drift. 3. Life on these worlds cannot be ruled out. Wherever there's liquid water and an energy source, biology has a fighting chance. And the physics of large rogue planets and their moons makes both of those things potentially possible. 4. This isn't just an abstract cosmic curiosity. Rogue planets have intersected with solar systems before. They may intersect with ours again. And when they do, even a distant passage leaves marks. Space has rules, but space doesn't guarantee it will follow them in ways that are convenient for us. A planet that shouldn't exist does. Alone, dark, massive, forever drifting through the void. And somewhere beneath the ice of a moon we haven't found yet, something may be moving in the dark. Something that has never seen a star. Something that doesn't know stars exist. If this one made you think, hit like and subscribe. And drop a comment below. If a rogue planet passed through our solar system tomorrow, would you want to know? Or would you rather not? I'll be back with another story that changes how you see the universe. Until then, stay curious, stay humble. Because space doesn't care about our comfort zone.